behind the drinks table, it's impossible to organise much of a different smoke.
Good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, if you're in the ether or in Singapore, welcome to Holt Festival 2021. It really is fantastic to be back. Last year was a dismal year for so many people in so many different ways. Before we talk about this year, I would just like to pay tribute particularly to James and Anwyn for their efforts last year. As many of you will know, they put on a fantastic exhibition in Anwyn's garden with contributors from all around the world. And sadly, the weather took over, and after one very successful day, they couldn't go ahead after that. But the number of letters and emails that were received from struggling and bored and frustrated artists around the world, just saying that it was marvellous that they hadn't been forgotten and that they had the opportunity of doing something and being recognised, was heartwarming. And I think particular thanks to those two for all that effort then. And now here we are, back in this lovely church. And I'd just like to say a few thank yous. And firstly, obviously, to the church, Father Howard, and the wonderful volunteers. This is a very much a special place for all of us at the festival, and it's marvellous to be in the church hall with the festival. Thank you to Sworders, who are very generous. They've sponsored both the young people's prizes, and it's lovely to see their encouragement for youth in art. Adrian Hill has been fantastic, and I think the two-centre system is going to work very well, and obviously we're benefiting from their expertise and professionalism, so thanks to them. And also, thanks to the Sainsbury Centre, who very kindly sponsor the winner and are great supporters of us. So many thanks. But I think, apart from obviously Anwyn, who orchestrates everything behind the scenes and who's done a hugely good job, particular thanks to James Glennie, who works tirelessly every year to get it better and better. And I think if you've seen the paintings and the works of art, you'll realise that this year is the best ever. And he does it all without pay, but with great enthusiasm and skill. So James, thank you very much indeed. And finally, I'll just say that there are two ways you can now support the festival, and I'm afraid both involve putting your hand in your pocket. Firstly, and as James said, buy a picture. There's some fabulous stuff, and of course we, as the festival, do make some money from it, but most importantly, you are supporting the artists who have had a tough time. And also, please come to lots of events at the festivals. I think there's only one sellout now because we've been able to release more tickets because of the change in regulations. But it's a varied and interesting programme. I would say nothing is too crowded, so don't feel too nervous about that. And I do hope to see as many of you there as possible during the rest of this week. Thank you.
So thank you, Adney. I would just like to add a few thanks to that, and I think the most important people to thank actually are the artists, because obviously this event would not be happening without you. It's a wonderful start to the festival, so thank you to all the artists who entered, all the artists who are here tonight, all of you who are watching at home or wherever you're watching, or at the Adrian Hill Gallery. I'm hoping you're all going to do a cheer for them. And come back next year, basically. Now, next year, we have a very exciting loan exhibition. Obviously, we haven't had one this year. It takes quite a long time to set up a loan exhibition, and we couldn't be sure that the festival would go ahead. But next year, we are having a Craxton Picasso exhibition, which is celebrating the centenary of John Craxton with works from him, of course, people who influenced him, his friends, along with some wonderful Picasso's ceramics. Also, another exciting piece of news, a new art prize next year, and this is a ceramics prize, which is being sponsored by Charlotte Fraser. So it's the Charlotte Fraser Ceramics Prize, and the award is £1,000. So please do tell all your ceramicist friends. I know there are a lot of them in Norfolk, and we obviously will hope to get work from further afield as well. The judges. I need to thank particularly the judges for tonight for the work that they have done over the last few weeks in looking at the short list, and here today looking at the actual physical exhibition. So we'll start with the Saunders Emerging and Young Artist Prizes. The judges Nicola Johnson and Adrian Hill. And Nicola is actually going to be here to talk about the work from the young artists and to announce the winners. So, Nicola Johnson.
It's lovely to see so many people here, and I'm sure lots more out there in the ether somewhere, but I'm not on top of that sort of thing. It was a tremendous pleasure to actually be asked to judge some of the younger artists, because the talent emerging was absolutely overwhelming. I mean, the quality of the art that came in, to be perfectly honest, the quality overall of the submissions from the young artists and the emerging artists rather pipped the rest of the thing to the post. And it's delightful to see that, because there are two criteria for this. For the young artists, who are people from 16 up to, I think, 19, that's right. It's very much people who have just finished their GCSEs or are just embarking on their A-levels. So they're people right at the beginning of their career who are already really committed to the art. And then the second category, which takes people up to 25, was for people who are emerging, and to be perfectly honest, in many cases, emerged artists. So the quality was extraordinarily high. And Luke MacDonald from Saunders is going to give the prize, but before he does that, we've got outside the prize winner overall, there are two people in these categories that we would really, really like to commend for the quality of their work. In the young artists category, we'd like to commend Libby Yee, who I hope is watching us from Singapore, for her work called The Fluidity of the Human Psyche. And you'll see that if you go to the gallery there. And also to commend Sophie Duez, whose work is also in Adrian's gallery, for her work FaceTime. But I'm not allowed to tell you who the winner is, because Luke's going to do that. And as I said, we had a really hard job because they were so good. And for the winner, what was really tremendous was the real promise, and for some of you this will be meaningful and others not, almost what I would call a Ruskinian attention to the careful observation and detail. A really brilliant observation, and then an ability to turn that observation into a really lively piece of art. So Luke will announce who achieved this.
And Nicola, thank you very much indeed, and it is with enormous pleasure that Saunders, for the third year running, have been able to sponsor this prize. We do feel very strongly about emerging artists, young artists coming forward. And the moment you've been all waiting for, I know, is for me to announce the winner. For the young artist, aged 17, is Mia Mack. Her work is New Shoes, and it gives me enormous pleasure to ask her to come forward and receive the Saunders Prize.
And she's wearing the shoes that are in the picture, which you must go and see in the other gallery. There were also commendations, or there was one particular commendation for the emerging artists. And that was Phoebe Leach, whose work is in there. She painted the most enormously affectionate and insightful picture of her friend Mercy. And I would urge you to go and have a look at it, because it's really beautifully done. And again, the quality is quite staggering. So the winner, however,
Musical chairs again. Nicola, thank you again. And I'm pleased to announce the prize for the emerging, Sorda's prize for the emerging artists, who can't very sadly be with us this evening, but her name is Rosie Phillips, and the title of her painting, which has, again, great emotion, is Chien d'amour, subject seated with a favourite dog on a sofa. So I am absolutely thrilled to announce that she is the winner of the Emerging Artist Prize.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you, Nicola. Now we come to the Sir John Hurt Art Prize. 3 judges for this award, Stuart Pearson-Wright and David Case, but they have left Amanda Geithner to actually talk to you about the work and to announce the winner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my great honour to be here this evening. It was my very great honour to be asked to judge with Stuart and David. And what a difficult job we've had. I would echo Nicola in saying the quality of the work the calibre of the work is astonishing this year. And it has been. I'm very proud to have watched this prize very closely over all its years and been involved in many of those years. And what's exciting, I think, is to see the development and the consistency and brilliance of some familiar faces. And this year in particular, so many new faces, artists that we're not aware of, that we haven't seen in this region before, haven't seen enough of, and of course the emerging artist categories. And I would also agree with Nicola. I've worked with Nicola for many years. I agree with her an awful lot. But I would say that we were really impressed by the younger categories. And we would also like to give a commendation before we announce the final prize. And our commendation actually sat with Rosie Phillips, for her Chien d'amour. I have a Chien d'amour. I know many of us do. I urge you to go and look at the painting again. I think we all found it a really moving emblem of the pandemic, of that sort of comfort and company. And I would particularly note just the brilliant draftsmanship of the composition and the way in which so much of the figure is in a slightly soft focus with its red wine, but the eyes of the dog are right there looking at you. So congratulations for that, Rosie. I'm glad that you have also been given a prize. But to come to the prize, to the Sir John Hurt Art Prize for 2021, we chose, amongst many marvellous works, a work that we found undeniably beautiful. It gives me great pride to show the variety of this prize by awarding it in a category in media that hasn't won the prize before. First and foremost, we found this work brilliant, captivating, beautiful, but we were absolutely entranced in the skills of its making. And being a digital photographic collage, I think sometimes the really exceptional skills that go into that sort of work aren't as evident to us as those more familiar hand skills such as painting and drawing. But nonetheless, this is a masterfully skillful work, incredibly beautiful, amusing even. And we also like the conundrum, the paradox of this incredibly vulnerable structure in glass facing the elements. So you will know by now, those of you who've seen the gallery over at Adrian's Gallery, that the Sir John Hurt Art Prize for 2021 goes to Barbara Natty for Briny Chronicles. Congratulations, Barbara. I hope you're listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, that's it. We can sort of wrap this up now. We've awarded the prizes. Please do go back and have another look at the works if you haven't seen them, or go to the Adrian Hill Fine Art Gallery and have a look there if you haven't been there yet. The exhibitions are both running until next Saturday, so you've got plenty of chance to come have a look at them. Lots of the works are for sale, as you have seen, so please do help us by supporting the artists. And once again, thank you all for being here. Thanks to the artists, thanks to everybody who's watching. and keep in touch with us, and we look forward to seeing all your works next year. Thank you very much.